Hello, early birds.
Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, Bob.
Thank you.
That means you can hear me.
All right. Let me see, minimize insert, post. 38011.
Good evening.
Good evening, Marion.
Good
Dan's
evening.
outside at the gazebo. Look at him.
How come I'm not hearing you, Dave?
I don't know. Can anybody else hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not hearing anybody. I think I'm gonna go out and come back in again and see if I can hear you guys. I'll be back.
Christy, can you hear us? You're muted, Christy.
Hey guys,
Okay.
So can we, there we go, okay. So we got it. I think we're all set.
Marion's coming back in. She was having audio difficulty.
Yeah, and I'm technically challenged.
Yes, she is. Hi, Marion. Can you? You're muted, Marion.
Okay, I think I got it now.
There you go. I hear you loud and
You're
clear.
Yeah, and I'm, let's just, okay.
Did they not send out the minutes or did I miss them?
I have not received them yet. I think,
Okay, well, it's not just me. I just hope I didn't miss them.
no,
Okay,
it's not you. Rob and Bill are taking care of that.
okey doke.
So we got Christie's on. Okay. Michael, Sean, Robert. We'll give it a few more minutes. I know Robert is joining. There he is.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, gang.
Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Paul. How are you?
I'm vertical and doing really well. It's been a beautiful day.
It's been gorgeous out there, yeah.
It's, yeah, for the longest day of the year, this is a winter.
One of the meetings I had today in the city, I told the guy to meet me in the lobby and we grabbed an iced coffee and we went down to the waterfront and just sat there and dangled our feet off the edge and had our meeting there. It was beautiful.
Well, that's tough work.
Yeah.
My board meeting was out on the deck in the back of the VFW. I had a cold beer and a cigar, and we talked, and that was perfect. Perfect board meeting. My once a year cigar.
And Benjamin, you here? Yes. Let's see, Michael is not here. And Sean is not here, and Joe. So I got a joke for the Air Force. While we're
Not
waiting,
not one of them has fallen out of the sky yet.
hold on a minute.
We haven't left one up there. That's it. We haven't left one up there yet.
Haven't left one. Well,
Joe,
while we're waiting, while we're just getting everybody signed on here, I thought I'd just share this with you because you would enjoy this, Dave.
Go for
What
it.
do you, what do you call an army of babies?
Recruits?
No, close. I'm surprised I'm even sharing this with you. Infantry.
I was close. I was close.
bad,
Yes, you
bad,
were.
Paul, bad, bad.
I'm the only one that can say that joke, okay? Because I are one.
Well, I got a patch for you, Paul.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started here.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance. I've got the flag. I pledge allegiance
Flag
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a few adjustments to the agenda. I just want to say welcome to everybody. What we will do is we've got Town Councilor, Mr. Vincent, Bob Vincent. And we've also got some folks to talk about the Wakefield Parade and the Independence Day celebration, just to kind of give us a brief update to fill us in and see if there's some things that we can do as veterans to help that day out for Wakefield. And what I would like to do is, Dave, if we could just go ahead and actually, first question that I have is to Robert. Do we have the minutes from May's meeting?
We don't, and so I think we're gonna have to approve 2 sets at the next meeting.
Okay,
Haven't been able to get them from Bill.
okay, not a problem. And Bill's trying to get the tempo and figure it all out. So I haven't seen him sign in yet. Did he, is he with us?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay. So we'll pass on that. And if we can start with the VSO report, Dave?
Sure. VSO report to the Veterans Advisory Board, June 21st, 2022. The Wakefield Veterans Monthly Food Bank was held last Wednesday, June 15th, as the VSOs from the state were in summer training. The Wakefield Food Bank here in our town provided both paper supplies and canned goods from our distribution center here. The staff at the senior center distributed the items. Chapter 115. We now have 11 Chapter 115 participants in Wakefield. We lost one veteran on June 8th. He was a longtime Wakefield resident of over 50 years and an Army veteran who served during the Vietnam War period.
Yep.
We have a Vietnam veteran who is currently going through a financial hardship, and he will be applying for Chapter 115 within the next week, as well as veterans benefits for his disabilities. His wife is out of work now, and she will be applying for Social Security as she is of age. They also have a disabled son who lives with them, who was at one time on SSDI, but was taken off, and they did not reapply after he turned 21. They have resubmitted his claim and are awaiting a decision. I'd like at this time to recommend to the board that we provide him with a one-time assistance of $1,400 from the Veterans Relief Fund towards paying his rent, as he is in arrears for June of $1,400 going into July. Once I establish his eligibility for the Chapter 115, he will be getting financial assistance from that program. Homeless veterans, the Wakefield HRT, the high-risk team, at the police station contacted my office on June 15th. There's a veteran who was sent to the Brockton Elliott Rehab Center and is now undergoing treatment and will be released soon. I have contacted the SAVE team, Paul Burke, and provided the Elliott House, Alley, the rehab center, with information for transitional housing and a quick guide for immediate shelter options. The annual summer training for veteran service officers took place last week. I spent 4 days in training there and on the many changes taking place in veterans benefits and Chapter 115 initiatives. The summer training had over 100 VSOs from the communities and towns attend, and also had elections for the Massachusetts Veteran Service Officers Association. The increase in requests for VA benefits and spousal benefits, aid and attendance, dependent indemnity compensation, upgrades in compensation due to medical issues, new applications from veterans seeking assistance has become challenging. I still have been covering the Melrose Veteran Service area and supporting the Saugus VSO, the new Saugus VSO, Michael Saunders. The new district director, who resides in Melrose, will be covering Saugus, Wakefield, and Melrose. Her name is Roseanne Triunfi Mezzacelli. Well, she will be starting in July 5th at the Milano Center in Melrose. She comes from the Winthrop Veteran Service Office and was the past president of the MVSOA. We had a Wakefield Marine in May, veteran Mary O'Leary, who turned 100 years old. She was presented, we presented her with the Congressional Commendation for her services during World War II. The award was presented by a fellow Marine of Wakefield, Jay Panett, who wore the Marine polo and headgear, giving her a smile that filled the room. On to the coffee social. As a report, the monthly Veteran Coffee Social is breaking for the summer, and we will resume on September 17th, the third Saturday of the month. As for Memorial Day from the Veteran Service Office, Marion Dennehy was the guest speaker and spoke eloquently on the Gold Star wives, spouses, and families whose sacrifices were made during war conflicts and resulting demise of the effects of war. Her passion and dedication to the Wakefield community as she continues to honor and remember our veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice. The flag placement at both the Forest Glade and Lakeside cemeteries were fulfilled and covered by both the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and various volunteers from the community. I left 24 additional flags at the main offices at both locations for any that we may have missed. My hours of operation during this time period, helping out the other locations, up until July 5th, will be Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And as always, the Veteran Service Office continues to reach out to the community for any veteran who may need our assistance for navigating for benefits to agencies who can give them support to do any qualifying veterans or spouses for the Massachusetts Chapter 115 program. Please call the office for further information, 781-246-6377. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions on what Dave Mencken presented?
Could I ask one question to Dave? I know you had said that there was one veteran there that was receiving assistance. I don't know if it was Chapter 115, but where Karen Burke is now on the Council of Aging and at the senior center. Could he possibly use some funding from, I believe they have a fund called the Elizabeth Boyd Fund, and it's like a one. And
Yes,
maybe,
I'll be looking into that as well as the Red Cross.
okay,
If I asked him how much he owed, he said he still owes $1,400 this time. We could give him 1,000, whatever the board or whatever the next level on that decision comes up with. It's a lot. I haven't used that fund yet in the last 4 years at all. So I don't know. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This housing in Haverhill that handled this sort of thing, Randy Carter, do you know his name?
No, I do not.
They have housing in Methuen. Maybe it's Methuen or Haverhill, and
That's the VNOC, Christie. That's VNOC program. The
No,
Veterans
this is gonna be
Northeast
no
Out-
program. They help people that are currently getting out of treatment, sober, taking them off the streets. They have fully furnished like studio apartments. And they have to do P tests randomly, like it's a whole program.
Oh, for the homeless guy that we're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. And the SAVE team, Paul Burke, had sent me, and I sent this information to the Elliott House as far as step-by-step processing to get housing. And they're in contact with them as well, I'm sure, Kristen.
okay, great.
I sent an email to Jennifer at the police station this afternoon, who's on the HRT team, in
Mhm.
regards to this, and I told her I'd keep in touch with her, let her know what avenue it takes next. So,
Awesome.
and Dan, I will look into more accessing, because when he gets on chapter 115, the veteran, and the 115 program will pay for their Medicare Part B and D for them, and maybe get them on a different healthcare program if we need to.
The
It's all
Boyd,
budgetary. It's budgetary allotments. He needs more income to get his budgets allotted.
I think the Elizabeth Boyd Fund is open to anybody, not just veterans, but it's a one-time only, paying for somebody's oil during the winter time or something, but it's a one-time payment, and that's through the senior center. But it's Elizabeth Boyd, who ran the home down there on Bennett Street.
You say Hoyt?
Boyd,
BOIT.
Okay, I think that he used that once before. And I think that's what the problem is there. He needs to get on the 115. And in the past, he didn't qualify. I believe now he will. And more importantly, I need to get, he has no vehicle, but I have a vehicle available for him. I have a volunteer who takes veterans to the Bedford VA or Jamaica Plain. Once I get him in the system, his disabilities, which he has, and I'm sure it's incurred from his service in the Navy during the Gulf of Tonkin. So I'm going to be applying. This guy is my focus for the whole month of July.
So let me intervene here as a chairman. And I had this discussion with the town manager when I came on board. We don't usually manage money, but the town has the Veterans Relief Fund that is available to us. And so I'm not sure, as the chair, if those funds, if it's this board's responsibility to say yes or no and allocate those funds for on behalf of town. But what I would like is just to kind of keep it framed while we're waiting for the individual who's seeking the relief to get the chapter 115, maybe somebody on the board can come up with a motion to go ahead and pursue the relief, and I'll take that vote to the town manager. If you
In other
follow
words,
where I'm going.
You want us to make a sort of a board decision on the amount that you'll bring to them.
Yes.
Okay. Is 14 too high? Because you think 1,000, let him squeeze by with that? That's up to you. I just think 14 is the number he gave me to get him out. He put 400 that he had, so.
do we even know how much is in that account?
Yes, I do. You want to know? It's public, I think.
The account through the town, through the taxes.
Yes, I have the numbers right here. I think I can say them. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yes, you go ahead and say them. It's public
All right,
information.
for the relief fund is $11,634.34. And the memorial fund is $6,490.49.
I think we have plenty to give him, Dave, so I'll make a motion that we give him the 1,400 if possible.
Okay, if they require his bank statements, I'll get those for them. And whoever makes the final decision may ask for bank statements. He's already preparing the documents for the 115 to me, and that requires 90 days of past bank statements. He says he has no problem doing that, so. I've never done this before as far as the relief fund, so it's going to be a good education, I think, for all of us on the board, either way.
The chapter 115, that's 75% is reimbursed back to the town, right?
That's correct, by the state, and this, but Wakefield pays 25%.
So there's a motion on the table here. Do I hear a second?
No second.
Okay. So all those in favor of granting up to $1,400,
Aye.
Aye.
raise your hand. Is aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Christie, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
Maureen and Brian are, sorry, they're not political.
Okay. So the motion passes, and I will approach the town on behalf of the Veteran Service Officer and the Veterans Advisory Board as to how to proceed.
There you go.
Any other questions for the Veteran Service Officer? Dave, thank you very much. As always, well done.
Thank you.
At this particular time, I'd like to insert here Counselor Vincent, who is newly elected to our Wakefield Town Council. Welcome to the board. And I'm going to turn the mic over to you to go ahead and give an introduction.
Thank you very much. It's still sinking in that I'm a member of the town council. I don't know how many of you know me. My name is Bob Vincent. I moved to Wakefield in 2014. I served for 26 years on active duty in the Navy as a JAG officer. 4 of those years as a military judge. I am a disabled veteran. I have a 50% disability rating, so I'm pretty familiar with the VA program. I get my VA healthcare at Bedford, and tomorrow I'll be at Jamaica Plain seeing an orthopedic specialist because I have a broken hand right now. I asked to be the liaison to 4 different committees and departments in town: fire, housing, the Veterans Advisory Board, and the Bylaw Review Committee. And I asked for that because the fire department, I wanted to be a liaison to a major board or department in town, and fire seemed like a good fit. I wanted to be on the Veterans Advisory Board because of my prior military service. I wanted to be on housing because I have a particular interest in especially senior housing and low-cost housing. I am over 60 years old, and like I said, I'm a veteran and I'm also disabled. So I have had a keen interest in senior housing issues. And then finally, the Bylaws Review Committee, because I served on the Bylaws Review Committee from 2017 to 2019. And this particular iteration of the Bylaws Review Committee is going to look at zoning. And zoning in town was a big issue to me. So I specifically asked to be the liaison of the Bylaws Review Committee. I'm still trying to figure out what being a liaison means. And as I continue to work with you all, we'll kind of learn this together. My plan is to try to attend as many, if not all, of your meetings. To whatever extent I'm engaged in communicating with you all during the meeting, you all let me know if it's appropriate for me to ask questions, to engage in the business that you guys are doing. When issues come up that I think I can be of service, like honestly, I think I am going to talk to Steve Mayo about the Veterans Relief Fund to see how those monies are allocated, what that process is. I think that's kind of something that I can also work with the town administrator in figuring out the process and administrative aspects of something like that. I look forward to working with all of you. I know some of you, like I know Dan Benjamin quite well. The rest of you, I think I don't know all of you, but I know some of you. But I am looking forward to serving on town council and also serving with you in my capacity as the liaison. Does anyone have any questions for me right now?
Well,
All right,
you answered the one question that I had, and we'll both find out what the answer to that will be.
Oh, with the Veterans Relief Fund.
Yes.
Okay, I made a note, so I'll talk to Steve about that tomorrow.
Okay.
Great. Thank you,
And
Bob.
Thank you.
anybody else have any questions? I will say, last week I went to the chamber dinner. I don't think you were there, but the Chamber of Commerce did a really terrific job. And the commander of the USS Constitution, Billy Joe Farrell, was the key speaker. And it was a really wonderful event. And I finally had a chance to meet her, and she's very, very sharp. I know her husband also. So great family. And I strongly encourage you to, anybody, to get to the USS Constitution this summer, to visit. But what a program that she's put together. And just to kind of plug on the USS Constitution to follow up, looking far ahead into 2023. That's the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. I think it's the 225th anniversary. And the Army Navy game will also be played in December of 2023 down at Foxborough Stadium, at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough there. So there's some good times coming.
Could I just say one thing to Bob? It's good to see a veteran on the town council, long overdue.
I was going to ask that question because I've only lived here since 2014. Do any of you know the last time a veteran served on the town council in Wakefield?
I'm trying to remember. I don't recall.
I know John Carney was a veteran. That's going back a few.
Oh, yeah, he was. I forgot about him then. Dan, I forgot all about John Carney. I don't remember. Nope. Can't remember another one.
Yeah, I'm not a resident long enough to know, having only been a resident for 25 years. Okay, but in the 25 years that I've lived in Wakefield, I cannot recall a veteran on the town council.
Isn't John Incarnaccio a veteran? Wasn't he on the town
Yes,
council?
he was. He was a colonel.
Yeah, he was a veteran. Yeah, that's the only
Um,
other one I can think of. But that's going back a while too.
That is, yeah. So that's an accomplishment. Thank you very much for raising that issue, Mr. Vincent. I appreciate it. How do we address you in public? Bob?
Yes.
Mr. Vincent? Bob?
You just said it, Bob.
Bob?
Yeah. You're gonna find me to be, I'm not a politician at all, okay? I'm glad to be elected because there's a lot of service I want to do on behalf of the town. But yeah, calling me Bob is appropriate, perfectly appropriate. I've gone to a few events here recently, and it's still kind of interesting when they point out, Councilor Vincent's in the audience today, and I do kind of a double take. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's been less than 2 months, so I'm still getting used to it. But yes, please call me Bob when you see me in public.
Any other questions? Okay. Bob, thank you very much. You're welcome to stay on if you'd like. And I appreciate you taking the time for joining us, and hopefully that we have some information that will enlighten you as to make the job as liaison a little bit easier than what you might know. And we appreciate having you. I don't know, is Brian on? And more.
Yep, Brian's on.
Okay. And Maureen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So Brian, we have not personally met, but I answered Maureen's email, and she had suggested that you join us tonight and talk about the Wakefield Independence Day celebration.
Yes, thank you for your invitation tonight. Maureen is our veterans contact, but she asked me to come on and talk a little bit more about the parade, what we're looking for, and how you guys can be involved if you want to be. So I am the chairman of the Wakefield Independence Day Committee. We do the 4th of July parade every year. This year happens to be our 75th anniversary, and it's the 100th anniversary of the first Wakefield 4th of July parade. For those who haven't seen it in the past couple of years, we typically put on the biggest 4th of July parade in Massachusetts and the second biggest in New England. And as Dan Benjamin can vouch, as he was involved for many years, it's quite the event. So the reason Maureen was reaching out to you was every year we invite veterans who want to march or ride in a vehicle to appear in the parade. This year I have a trolley with air conditioning. We have a beer wagon pulled by Clydesdales, which the veterans have enjoyed in the past, or the ability to walk. Unfortunately, we don't have any military vehicles coming. There were some guys that really loved riding in some old Army Jeeps, but wasn't able to secure any of those this year.
Can we all fit in the hot dog?
For you, Dan, we'll figure it out.
I'll put
I
me
don't
on
know
the
how many
back.
actual seats are in the hot dog, but we'll find out.
I'll take the beer wagon.
There won't be any beer though, just the wagon.
That's fine. As after effect will be fine.
Yes.
Make it through the whole parade though.
So yeah, we have a few different options if there are members who would like to participate. For Memorial Day parades, the weather tends to be a little cooler. The past couple of 4th of July's have been in the 90s. So we do have that air-conditioned trolley. We're gonna have if any veterans choose to participate, they'll be dropped off at the review stand in front of the Civic Center, so they can have a seat at the review stand and watch the rest of the parade go by. Veterans would be in the part of the first groups to go out.
Okay. So there's an invitation on the table to join. Do we submit names to, who do we submit names to? Maureen?
You can submit them to Maureen, that's fine.
Okay.
If we can get an ad in the item for the veterans who'd like to march in the parade, to contact my office, I can collect them, Brian, and get the names.
Okay.
To you. Okay, that'd be good.
Sounds good. Yeah, if I know, roughly how many, participants there are, what vehicle, if any, they'd like to be on. The guys who've done the beer wagon in the past really enjoyed it. It does involve a little bit of exertion trying to get up on it because it's, a beer wagon pulled by Clydesdale, so it's a little bit off the ground. Some guys have had assistance in the past getting on and off, but it didn't seem to be a problem for them. And those I talked to really enjoyed that. And then, of course, air conditioning, which I know if I had a choice, I'd sit in the air-conditioned trolley myself all day at the staging area.
Brian, at some point, you have my email address. Could you email me your email and send me an email, and I'll have the connection to get back to you on.
Sure, I think Maureen has it. I'll follow up with her.
Okay, great.
Just a point of information, is there also, there's a military officer that's riding in the parade on a horse?
Yes, Jerry Scott, he was a former Wakefield resident. He was in the Army and he rides a Army approved horse, despite the fact that he's a retired lieutenant colonel, I believe.
Right, I think the horse's name is Hercules.
Correct. Yep, Jerry will be going out among the first, there's an order he has to go in as part of the protocol. So he goes out pretty early to follow that protocol.
Brian, is he a member of the Ancient and Honorable Artillery Company in Boston? You know?
I don't know. I think he moved up to Maine or Vermont, so I don't know what local affiliations he
Okay.
still maintains.
Okay. That's great.
He's been doing a lot of riding around dressed as a cowboy throughout New England the past year or two, but I don't know how much military stuff he's been involved in recently.
Okay, that's cool.
So I also believe he's carrying a banner for the United States Army.
Yes, I have 2 children. They're going to carry his banner for him.
Okay, so that's taken care of.
Yes, and we have a banner for the veterans that would be carried by other children as well.
Okay, okay. So there's 2 banners, one for Lieutenant Colonel Scott and the other banner is for veterans.
Yes.
Okay, so because his
Yeah,
is
we
black.
have 86 different banners in the parade between
Right.
different businesses and groups and whatever carried by children.
Okay,
Where does the parade start, Brian?
Was that a where or a when?
Where?
Where the Lakeside Office Park on North Ave. We stage it there. It goes down North Ave to Church Street, then Common Street, then ends up at the middle school on Main Street.
Just
It's
follow
about a
the,
2-mile walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, follow Yellow Brick Road, right?
The freshly applied stars. There's the route.
Sounds good. I'll get more details on the email.
Sure.
any other questions for Brian? Maureen, thank you very much for introducing Brian to the board, and both of you, Brian, thank you very much for taking time to take our questions. And
No problem. You guys are listening to the first part of the meeting. You guys are doing a great job, and I'm really happy that our veterans in town have your support.
well, thank you very much. And I hope that we have great weather on the 4th of July.
I certainly do too.
I'll take a day like today any day.
I would love a day like today.
All right. You're welcome to stay on. But we're going to move on to the other items that we have on the agenda.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, everyone.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
At this particular point, the next item on the agenda is we have an opening for a vice chairman. And also in the upcoming weeks, Sherry is going to open a position to fill Brian McCorby's slot that opened up. So we'll take a look at some of those and we can make that decision later in August when we meet again. But for the immediate moment here, is there anybody that would like to volunteer to be the vice chairman? And I will tell you the concern that I have is it goes back to my military training and paragraph 5 of the operations order. There's nobody in charge should something happen to the chairman. Okay. So if the platoon leader goes down, we know it's the platoon sergeant that kind of takes over. But in this case, when the chairman goes down, or should the chairman go down, I'm looking for backup.
I'm the radio guy. I'm third in command. I can't take the position.
I don't think you have a vote. Yeah.
I don't.
So would anybody else like to step up to basically just be the shadow?
I would step up and do it, except I'm going to be away July, August, September, and half of October. So if the chairman goes down, I'll not be here to pick him up.
Well, we got,
Unless we continue to do everything virtual, but I wouldn't be in town to be able to go to the town and do whatever I'd have to do.
the plan right now is to continue to meet virtually
Okay,
into the second part of 2023. So that's a possibility.
that's if you got Wi-Fi, Marion.
yes, I do. I have
'Cause I-
Wi-Fi in Canada. They've come a long way, Ben. I mean, Dan, why do I keep calling you Ben?
I did
Benjamin.
that the
Because you
first
look
2
like a
years I
guy I
know.
was on a meeting with yesterday, and I said to him, I swear you have a twin brother in Wakefield, because he looked just like you.
Tom Selleck, huh? No?
Yes, exactly, exactly.
We'll do a,
No, I lost my Wi-Fi up in Nova Scotia. I was up there last week. And I thought I had it, but when I changed telephones from Comcast, from Verizon to Comcast, I lost my Wi-Fi because it goes on Eastlink up there.
okay, so there's one volunteer.
I'll-
Is there a motion for Miriam on, to be the vice chair?
Sure. So
Second.
moved.
Okay, there's a motion and there's a second. Any other volunteers to do that strenuous job? Okay. So there's a motion on the table to nominate Marion for the, to serve as the vice chair for the Veterans Advisory Board of the town of Wakefield. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there any opposed? And Christie's on mute.
No, I'm not on mute. I'm here.
Oh,
Is
you're
she not a
okay.
mute?
No, I'm looking at your picture. I didn't see the hand go up. Everybody else raised their hand.
Her picture
I
doesn't
am
move.
stuffing my face.
That's okay. Okay, so the motion passes. Congratulations. I couldn't think of a better person to do the job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Now I can sleep well. The Veterans Memorial Project, and this is something that I would like to also discuss and probably should have mentioned to Mr. Vincent as an ongoing piece here, but we should, we need to, I have some information in my history that I will pull up, but over this break that we have in the summer, I'm going to probably pursue getting some funds and fulfilling the requirements for the grant for the monument repair and the memorial project. But let me back up a little bit. That has to do with the state grant. The Veterans Field Memorial Project is another item that I want to talk about, and I want to put Dan Benjamin up on that to talk about it. Dan and I and his wife Lois met with the town council, actually with town administrator Mr. Mayo. And Dan, I'm going to turn it back over to you to kind of discuss the outcome of that meeting and where we need to go.
Well, just to make it known, Lois, my wife, is here. She's the liaison to the Commission on Disabilities. So she's always at these meetings. If you might not see her, but she's here. But yeah, we did have the meeting finally. And we talked to Steve and everything I think went great. I asked him about, what the sign looked like. He was all in favor of that. We're also going to put up a sign on the backstop of the softball field saying Veterans Field, maybe 2 stars, but the same color red. And this is all fully funded. It's all within the funding that we were after. Sardella Signs has given us a conceptual look at the sign and the backstop sign. It's going to be on 2 granite posts. I asked Steve, I said, could the town possibly dig the 2 holes for the granite post? And he said, probably. And I talked about the flagpole that exists right now, which is kind of an older stubbed off flagpole. He said, maybe we can get a new flagpole for there. And there's where maybe we can use a little bit of the AFRA funds to put that up there. But this will be out in center field. And I think it'll look great with all the work they've done at Veterans Field and the floral way. I think this will top off everything. And everything looks good. I'll probably talk to Bobby Sardella later this week. He's got his 50th anniversary, I think tomorrow. But just to get all the signage just the way Lois really wants it, because Lois's family is the one that is paying for a lot of this signage. And that's about it. Everything looks great on it, and we'll work on it and get some more pictures of it. And it should look great. It'll go along with all those pickleball courts down at Veterans Field.
So we also, we left the meeting with Steve. We'd like to do a ceremony on Veterans Day to unveil the rededication to the field. And here's my question to the board members. The proposal was that there were two proposals. There was one proposal to do a ceremony on Veterans Day at 10 o'clock in the morning, with the Veterans Day ceremony at 11 o'clock. And then there's another proposal, I think it was either noon or probably more like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Dan, I think.
Yeah.
If I,
But
to do
if you got a
something. at
real-
1
Here, it gets dark earlier too, so, and it could be pretty cold in November. I was thinking more about 9 o'clock in the morning. And that way WCAT could probably film it and then have time to get back up to the Galvin.
So, yeah.
I like before rather than after also.
Okay, and there's also the Veterans Day this year, I think I'm correct, it's Friday. So it's going to be a day off it's going to be a Friday, a national holiday before the weekend. Just something to consider. That usually impacts people's schedules and whether they come or they don't come and things like that. But a good point about 9 o'clock to allow WCAT a little bit of time to set up.
Yeah. I know Brian, who isn't on the committee anymore, the advisory board, but he still wanted to work on this project also. So he has a lot of, I think he works the camera for WCAT, and maybe he could do it.
Okay, okay.
And you're gonna send the council the bill for the flowers and everything, right?
We can
Yeah.
do that. We can
Yep.
do that.
Because that's already been approved by the council.
Great, great.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see possibly the sign electrified so it can be turned on at night. And we can also put a spotlight up at the flag. And that way you wouldn't have to raise the flag every morning and take it down. As long as it's a spotlight on it, I guess that's,
Right.
What they do here at the senior center is we have the security lights at the end of the building, so it shines on it. And in Cambridge, we're putting one up for one of the Vietnam Veterans Memorials, and it is a street light, which qualifies for that same thing. I think the flag that's there now is near the street light at the intersection, so it covers that.
and also I would like to get a hold of the not the VFW, but the American Legion, and get them involved in this, as they were the ones that back in, 1940 something were the ones that originally wanted to dedicate this, and World War II came along. So I know there's maybe 4 or 5 active members still in the American Legion. If we could get their little color guard that they had at like the West Side Social Club and maybe fire off volley, I think that would also.
Okay, I think that's appropriate.
Mhm.
And at 9 o'clock, so there's a motion to do the before ceremony at 9 o'clock. Knowing that we also have the 11 o'clock ceremony at the Galvin. Okay, shall we, any other discussion on that? Okay, do I hear a second on the motion?
Second the motion.
Okay, we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor of a 9 o'clock ceremony to do the rededication for Veterans Field on Veterans Day 2022?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, I don't think there's any opposed. So we will continue. So that passes. Lois, any questions?
No, I'm just feel so good that this is gonna be.
I just want to thank you very much for what you're doing and putting this together. And Dan also, the two of you have really done a lot of work on this, and I appreciate it. And when you see Bob, please express some thanks to him too for the things that he's doing to help you with the signage. That's going to be really huge.
I think he's having his 50th anniversary tomorrow. I think he's got a free hot dog day. It's a drive-up hot dog day, but anyway, he's been in business for 50 years here in Wakefield. And as always, great town, made all the signs for the 4th of July parade. And
So tomorrow is the hot dog day over at Sardella
hot
Sign. Okay.
I'll get the gang from Dockside to stop by.
I might stop over and check in with him and see how he's doing. I want to try one of those hot dogs. He did invite me. I wasn't clear on the day though. Okay. Miriam, Gold Star Wives, you want to speak a little bit about that in the convention this summer?
Well, the convention is from July 12th to July 17th. It's at the Park Plaza Hotel in Boston. We're having some great events. We have 2 memorial ceremonies that we're going to be doing for the members. One is for our spouses. We do it every year. As a matter of fact, we do it a similar memorial spouse at all of our meetings. We always remember them. And that's going to be done at the State House. They have graciously agreed to open up Memorial Hall for us. They're not as yet opening for anything other than walkthroughs. There's no sitting, standing things at all going on in the State House, but they finally, after I had the program all put together, agreed to do it. So we're going to have that at the State House. We're having a memorial service for our members aboard the USS Constitution. And there's all that business stuff in between. So, but it's going well. We had some big bumps in the road to get over, but we got over them, and we have pretty much reached our goal of fundraising, which was pulling teeth, but we got it done. And I think it's going to be a wonderful event for the Gold Star Wives and their guests.
And everybody's invited. The big day is the 16th, the dinner, right?
The dinner is the 16th.
Okay.
People want to buy tickets, they can buy a table, even better. No, but yeah, it is the night of the 16th.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned the table. I think that was you, Paul, at one point.
Well, do we have an interest in, is there an interest in the town of Wakefield veterans going? I don't know that. To fill a table.
What's the required, what is the cost for a table of 10, Marion? Is it 10?
I knew you were going to ask me that, Dave, and I don't have my stuff in front of me. I think
No,
it's
that's fine. I'm sorry.
1,200, I think. I think it's
Okay.
1,200. Believe that is what we put out for our fundraising letter, was
Yeah.
1,200.
And the
Are there
16th is,
tables still available?
16th.
well, the 16th is a Saturday in the middle of
Saturday
July.
night. And it's
Yeah,
Sat-
Saturday
it's
night.
Saturday night, yeah. We're having the speaker that we're having is, I should have had that in front of me. We finally got this speaker. We've been back and forth with him due to his schedule. He's a gentleman who is working with his organization to get a monument put on the mall in Washington, D.C. for the war on terror, for all of the those that were, gone because of the war on terror. That's what his organization is doing. He's been involved in that for a while. He's an excellent thing. If I'll try and pull up his bio and send it to you. He's very, very interesting. And Peg Griffin, who is our convention coordinator, she is, I believe she is supposed to talk to General Kelly today or tomorrow, and he may also be coming to speak. So it should be a nice convention. It should be, and we hope it's well attended. There will be about 55 or 60, so probably about 60 Gold Star wives in attendance. Some of them are not staying for the banquet, some of them are staying for the banquet, whatever. But and we have other tables that have been sold by military organizations that we hope to have filled. So it'll hope to be a nice night and a nice dinner. And
So just to kind of just do the math in my head, that's about $100, $125 per person
close.
for dinner. Yeah, to attend that.
Well, the Park Plaza,
function.
the problem with the Park Plaza is that it's super expensive. The only reason we pushed to get it done at the Park Plaza is in 1953, the Gold Star Wives had it was either their first or their second convention, and it was held at the Park Plaza Hotel. That was not the name of the hotel at the time. And that's why we thought this is the first time it has been here in Boston since 1953. So we wanted it to be big. Of course, when we volunteered in 2018 to do this, we didn't expect to have COVID come in and kill everybody's pocketbooks. So that's why it's been tough after making all these arrangements. It's been really tough doing the fundraising. I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, we're against the wall from the minute we started with fundraising, but especially the veterans organizations, God love them. They have stepped up and done right by us, and we can't thank them enough, and others as well. But the military, the veterans organizations and military organizations have been right behind us all the way, and we will never. We're there for them anytime, and they know it. And I think that's why they stepped up and they've helped us. So it'll be a nice event for the Gold Star Wives, and we hope that the banquet will be a memorable one for everybody as well, for those that come.
And the banquet, I'm assuming, is a formal event from.
It's well.
If I had to put it in
No,
military terms.
It's like not formal, although people come in uniform, people come in suits, women come in gowns, and women just come in nice pant sets or a nice skirt and a nice top. You have it's dressy, but not necessarily formal.
Okay.
Class A uniform.
But not your dress blues?
Yeah. I'm not wearing my uniform.
Okay. I'm not sure if I've got 3 places to be on that day. So I'm not sure if I'm able to manage it, and in 2 different states. So I'm trying to figure that out for myself.
Listen,
Mary,
if you want to come and you want to buy a ticket, get in touch with me, and I will make sure you have a seat.
Do people donate seats or tables?
That's what I'm saying. There are some of the military organizations that have bought tables, but they're letting us know that they're not sure if they can fill them. And we've told them if they can't fill them to let us know. And some of them had said, some of the military veterans organizations that have bought a table have said, that's fine, but we want them filled with other veterans. Okay. But others have not made specification. They're just gonna say to us, we bought a table, but we can't fill them. Find somebody to fill the seats. Okay, we can do that. So,
Would it be hard to
Um,
find the people to fill the seats? Is it easy to give them away if they're not, stipulated as veterans or whatever?
oh yeah, because they're not all stipulating that they're veterans. And, I think when push comes to shove, they'll be fine if we can't find a veteran to be able to fill the seat. They've already paid for it. So I'm sure they'll be fine with letting us fill the seat, but that was their preference, was that it be a veteran.
Sure,
You
that
know.
makes sense.
My
And,
wife and I are available that night if there's an opening.
You are, Dave?
My wife and I could be available for those open seats, sure.
Okay. If anybody else wants, just let me know.
Thank you very
We
much.
have some VSOs coming to help us out too on some workshops that we're doing. Peg got in touch. That was all her. We all had our own jobs and never step on the other one's toes. So that's why this thing went so smoothly, except for fundraising, because nobody tried to encroach on anybody's job so that we were getting things mixed up. So I will mention this to her and see if she's made the final decision on how she's handling it, and I will let you know, Dave.
Okay,
I'll
great.
let you all know in case you change your mind.
Yeah. No, Mary, I thank you very much for the work that you've done to put that together. And it's again,
Absolutely.
it's the national convention
Yes.
for the Gold Star Wives, which is a big deal. So people are coming in from all over the country. It's not just local. That's a big event.
Yep.
I'm going to move on. The next item is July 16th up in Hamilton. And I just want to, I think it's $5 or $10 to park. And it's open to the public at the Patton Homestead. Every year, the Patton family and they gather and they open that up to the public. They usually bring in a helicopter to the Patton Homestead. There's a lot of static displays. There'll be some reenactors. There'll be some tanks and military vehicles, artillery pieces. Some of the first responders will be there with their equipment and everything else. Usually brings a crowd of about 1,000 to 1,200 people. It's a great event for kids and family. If you're inclined to go up there for the afternoon or for the morning, I strongly encourage it. I think we discussed the coffee social.
Yep.
Um,
So set.
I'm going to skip over on the Veterans Corner articles. I encourage you to support the Wakefield item. And if you have something of interest, please go ahead and just submit it to the item and they will be glad to work with you and it will get published. They have not kicked anything back that I have sent, and I'm going to continue to try to write a little bit more myself and submit it to the item. I talked about the state grant program and I will work on that over the summer, which brings me to the Room to Write. Just a plug for them. They do have a summer program here in Wakefield and throughout some of our surrounding communities. And I encourage you to join them. It's almost a one-on-one. The sessions that they put on are small and inspirational to get to document the experiences that we've had as service members and troops and sailors and soldiers and airmen. It's a terrific program. The last item on the agenda, because we're running out of time here, the 16th of August versus the 20th of September. And the reason for that is Veterans Day planning and prep actually starts on that meeting in August. And if we don't meet until September 20th, we have 2 meetings before the Veterans Day ceremony. So there's a little bit of work that I need to do, and I'd like to present that in August. So my proposal is that is there any objection to the next meeting for the Veterans Advisory Board to be Tuesday, the 16th of August in a virtual way?
How about
That gives-
doing it with a limited agenda, right? Where we just,
Yeah.
right, a limited agenda, just
Yeah.
maybe that item and
That's a good idea.
That's fair.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So our
I'll-
next
I'll-
meeting,
Canada, I think the 16th probably, but maybe I can go to Tim Hortons and hitch up to
Me
their house.
too.
well, cheers to those that won't be here on the 16th. And if you forget to zoom in and meet us, that's okay. We won't hold that against you.
Nope, as long as I get my reminder, I'll be there.
I don't have anything else on the agenda. Any other business?
That's it.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Thank you very much and have a great weekend.
care.
Aye.
Bye, all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.